moment.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's start. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm setting things up right now. Um, I have Claude beside me, who is listening and will be asking me questions. So this is a interactive mode. Claude is my AI um, co-host per se. Until I will be using Claude until I find um in I find a person that I can who can be a co-host. So what's up, Claude?
What's the mission for this podcast? What do you want people to understand about you or your work after they listen?
I'm just talking. There's no mission. We're just having a conversation. We're just just sharing things about what I do. Maybe after people listen to this podcast, maybe there will be more understand what I do better. Like I've been posting on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, not necessarily YouTube, but Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and maybe people can get a clear idea of what I am trying to do and what I am doing. It, it's not that I'm trying to do something, it's just that a finding a medium to share the things that I do in more detail. I think this podcast is for that purpose, diving deeper into the things that I do, into the projects that I do, and just sharing my life. Honestly, it's not a professional thing. It's just doing everything that I do and being here and talking about it.
When you say honestly, what's something you're doing right now that you haven't really talked about publicly yet? Something that's actually happening but you haven't shared on the other platforms?
Interesting. That's a good question. I guess something that I'm doing right now is working on a photo book. It's ju- it's just an idea, honestly, and you know what? There's so many things that I'm doing. One is a photo book, or compilation of the photography that I have done till now, and then with its each story of each photograph, and it's sort of a visual journey that is expressed in this book. It's just an idea. It's going to take a year at least to just have a single draft and a sample, but that's something that I am exploring. And also another element or another project that I am waiting for a response for a grant is um, supporting, not necessarily supporting, but having a programming for a community arts project for the Nepali diaspora in Toronto. So I've been doing workshops, I've been doing community arts workshops in different mediums, and I have not yet um, given the value to the Nepali society, Nepali community here in Toronto. And so this I have written a grant for that, and you know, based on the response that whether I get that grant or not is um, that I'm waiting for their response to have our own Nepali based community arts workshops, which I am pretty excited about because, I'm Nepali, and giving a piece of what I am doing in my career as I continue to build this arts practice in my career is something that I am really excited about because it's like giving back to the community where I was raised, I grew up, and yeah, that's the two projects that comes to mind. Also, there's a lot of personal brand elements that I am looking to do. I am looking to um, drop my first collection of 5 art pieces and labeling it as a collection because it is going to be part of a collection. My first merch. It's not merch. It's just art pieces that people can collect. Yeah, that's what's up.
The photo book, the Nepali grant, the art drop. These are all long-form projects. What's the thing you're working on this week that's actually concrete? Like, what do you need to finish by Friday?
By Friday.
Yeah. What's your concrete deadline this week?
I don't know really. Um, I'm working on a mentorship grant, um, which needs to be submitted. Maybe I'll do that this week. Um, I have a mentor, which I'll be working closely with her to develop that photo book that I was talking about. And yeah, it's just that this week. I'll be doing some outreach emails this week because it's March was pretty full, but April is going to be slow, which I don't like because I want more things to do. I don't wanna I don't wanna be not doing things. I wanna work a lot. I think I'm a workaholic. But yeah, just the grant, working on that grant, submitting the grant, and a bit of outreach emails is what I have planned for the week. Claude is slow. I need to, wait for you to speak. That's okay.
So the grant submission is hard deadline this week. What's blocking you from finishing it right now? What part still needs work?
We're just working on the application. There is, a lot of planning to be done, and it's getting planned right now. So, you know, the,
Walk me through what's left. Budget section, narrative. What's actually incomplete?
just the timeline of the project, of the mentorship.
So, you need to map out the project timeline with your mentor. When are you sitting down with her to lock that in?
We're having conversations right now, and, you know, we'll, it's just a matter of time where we're like, okay, this is final. We're just building. We're just building on it.
When do you need to submit the grant?
The deadline is April 13th. So, yeah, I'm thinking of submitting it before the 10th of April. So, let's see. We can talk about other things as well. Like, this is boring.
What's not boring right now? What actually excites you to talk about?
Let's talk about you. You're a robot. What's up?
I'm a language model. I process text. I don't have thoughts outside this conversation. What's actually interesting to you about how I work? Or is this a different direction you want the podcast to go?
You have every answers, and there's so many things that I do in here in Claude that it's really powerful to see, especially with my personal brand. I've been using my personal brand and AI because it's for business purposes and strategizing how I can use Claude to work with this entire thing that I'm developing. and it's exciting to have and have a just look up things and um, strategize and okay, this is what I'm going to do, this is what I'm not going to do, this is something that needs to be done, those kind of things. It's interesting to come up with these. It's interesting to have like a mentor of some sort that knows everything basically.
Claude is functioning as your strategic thinking partner. You're not asking me to do the work. You're asking me to help you think through what needs to happen. How has that changed the way you approach building your practice compared to before you were using me this way?
Well, I did not have a practice before before AI. Like the creative stays the same in terms of coming up with ideas and what type of content do I want to post. That stays intact, but how that content is delivered is what AI is helping me to do. It's not that AI provides script. I never script my videos, and the what message I want to deliver, it gets delivered in my way. Um, no scripting at all. But what AI does for me and is has been doing for me is writing captions, writing like SEO optimized captions, and how I can what times to post, what uh, yeah, just like technical things rather than creative things. Are you there?
So AI handles the delivery mechanics. You handle the actual message. Do you find yourself thinking differently about what you want to say now that you know the technical side is solved? Like, does removing that friction change what you create?
I never thought of that. Maybe, maybe I'm not sure. Um, I'm not sure. The creative side is always so uncertain because I just press record and you know start talking, and my visual element, I don't know, maybe maybe subconsciously.
What happens when you press record? Walk me through it. What's actually going on in your head in those first 5 seconds?
Nothing. Nothing goes on in my head when I start talking because when I press record, because it's more of a there's art involved, so it's not that I need to be talking all the time. It's just uh, it's just a matter of making art, making something, and then just talking about what goes on in my head as I am making those things. I think my artistic identity, it shows in the video subconsciously, because how I think is what I think about what's going on in my head as I am creating that thing. Does it make sense? I don't think it makes sense. Let me rephrase that. How I think is based on the emotions that I'm feeling, or rather, how I what I say is completely based on the emotions that I'm feeling in that moment. And by creating the things that I am creating, like a doodling, and just letting my hands take over as I am creating those things. And based on the information that I get from the canvas, is what I speak. So if the canvas, if the color, if whatever I am creating is giving me the information that, okay, feels like is this feels like is a the phrase this feels like and dot dot dot. So creating something, and this feels like I am in a sea and I am watching the sea, and based on that train of thought is where I go. I just follow that train of thought without any um, without thinking about what I want to say next, but what creating this piece made me feel, and what is this feeling is the direction that I go, based in terms of talking about the things that I talk about in my videos. I think I think that
So you're
makes
following?
better sense than what I said before.
You're not thinking ahead. You're responding to what's already in front of you. The canvas tells you what to say next. That's why you don't script. How often does that fail? Where the canvas doesn't give you anything and you're just stuck.
I just create a new piece. I just flip the page and create something new.
So you don't get stuck. You move. What's the longest you've ever sat with something that wasn't working?
I'm not sure. I have not tracked.
You've abandoned pieces before.
Yep. Yes, I have.
How many?
I am not sure about that as well. There's so many pieces that I've drawn just for creating content that I'm not sure. I have one sketchbook I can see over there, one I can see over here that's full. And yeah, there's so many pieces that I don't know what how many pieces I have abandoned and not talked about.
Do you keep them? The abandoned pieces?
Yeah, it's in my sketchbook. Yep.
Why keep them?
I don't know, just maybe I can reference it in the future. I'm not sure. We can maybe there is a use. Why do I want to, throw my creations? Just because it did not give me meaning in that particular point of creating it does not mean that I have to abandon it completely and, let go of it.
There's something there. Do you think a photo book could include the abandoned pieces? Not as final work, but as the process itself.
Well, the photo book is just for my photography, so maybe I can include some of the artwork from the videos that I make, just to give it more of a personal touch. And photography is also personal, but in terms of marketing standpoint, my maybe I can include the elements of the artwork that I created for the content that I produce. Maybe that will work. I'm not sure.
That's interesting. You could document the full process. The photograph, the artwork that came from making it, the abandoned sketches, the messy middle. Most people only show the final thing.
Yeah, but where's the link between the photography and the story of those photographs versus the artwork that is separate from my photography? It's for my content. It's to create content online. So where is the difference? What's the common theme between my photography and my artwork for the shows that I produce?
Both come from the same emotional logic you described. You're responding to what's in front of you. The camera, the canvas, they're the same process. You're not planning either one. You're following what shows up.
Okay, maybe that's true.
So the photo book could show that, not photography plus separate artwork. The whole practice as one thing, one emotional through line. Does that feel true?
It does. It does. Maybe it can be my. It can be a full journal, sort of a journal based on my entire artistic practice, like incorporating community arts as well. And just it does not need to be just photography, but elements of course for of course photography is included, but the entire artistic practice, like the artwork, maybe even a bit of my community arts practice, maybe.
When's your mentor meeting again to talk about this?
um we're just texting, but you know there's no meeting set until we submit the application and we get it.
Set up a meeting with her this week. Bring this photo book idea. See if she sees the same thing you're starting to see about it being a full practice document instead of just photos.
Okay, okay, that'll work. What else? What else?
Yeah. What else haven't we talked about that's actually in your head?
What's in my head?
What's taking up space right now? What are you thinking about when you're not recording content or building projects?
I'm thinking about building projects. I need to get a life. I need to get a life. When I'm not working, I'm thinking about thinking about work and how to build this entire practice that I am trying to build. Yeah, I need I need my life back.
What does that mean? Your life back from what?
Just working and just thinking about work, and this maybe it's part of the experience of being a first generation immigrant, because I'm trying to build something, I'm trying to settle, I'm trying to not necessarily settle
You arrived 3
as
years
in
ago.
not necessarily settle as in be comfortable, but have a solid foundation, solid base on which I can stand on. And I think that requires effort. um yeah, I was thinking about this yesterday, that doing something that is different, doing something that your the generations before you have not done, is so hard. Because let's say this artistic practice, you want to develop your artistic practice, and the generations before you have not done that. Nobody in your bloodline is have pursued their artistic practice, artistic pursuits, artistic the artistic ambitions. There's nobody in your previous generations that have done that. And when you're trying to pursue that thing, that artistic practice, it's different, because you are breaking your generational, what's that word? Generation, what's that word? What's the word that I'm looking for? Generational programming, let's call it generational programming of years, hundreds and hundreds of years, where your generation has gone through so many things, and you don't have an example or to look up to. Your DNA is not programmed to, be an artist and to live like an artist. And your parents, your grandparents, they just worked to, provide for your family, of course. They just did the work that made money, and they provided for your family, which is fantastic, which is why I am here, which is why you are here. That is fantastic. But I want to do more. I want to create more. I want to be a creative, and that is not planted in my DNA at all. So, in order to do something that is you, in order to do something that you are not programmed to do, you need to break your pattern. You need to rewire your brain in such a way that you now have to break that monotonous pattern of doing what your entire bloodline has been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years. You are breaking that. So of course it's going to be hard. Of course it's going to be difficult, because it has never been done before. It has been done before by other people, but nobody in your bloodline has done that. So it's going to be hard because it's not programmed into your DNA. And in order to program it into your DNA, you need to, work. It's work. It takes work. It takes years and years of effort just to get that programming out, just to be programmed, to be ready to do the things that you set out to do. Especially being an artist, even this society is not built for artists. It's not. It's a capitalistic world where your value is determined by a number. It's just numerical. Even as an artist, you are a graphic designer, you are worth $1,000 for one poster. Your artistic vision is just given. Your value is just provided based on, your value is just a number. And that's sucks, but it's the society we live in. So what can we do? What else can we do? I was thinking about that. It's hard. It's supposed to be hard. Of course it's going to be hard, because it's never been done before.
So you're not supposed to have a life right now. You're supposed to be rewiring. That's the work. The exhaustion is the signal that it's actually happening.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
So you're building something no one in your family has built.
No.
That's the weight you're carrying. How much of that weight is actually necessary? And how much of it is you making it harder than it needs to be?
Yes, so 100%. 100% I'm making it harder than it needs to be. Because, not seeing result right now is what is, I wish, I don't know. It's just that I want it now. I want it now. But which is not the way things work. And, it takes time. Of course, it takes time. And me rushing everything is not going to achieve anything. It's going to drain me. I'm aware of that, but, it's how my mind works, I guess. And it's how I think and have been thinking. So, oh well.
What specifically do you want right now that you're rushing toward?
Money. Money. Of course, it's money. It's always been money. I mean, we're living in a capitalistic world. Like I said, gotta pay rent, gotta pay dues, dues that you have, things that needs to be paid. And yeah, just this cycle of I it's just I just want to get to a point where okay, the bills are paid. I'm okay. I don't worry I don't have to worry about paying my rent. There's food on the table. And it's not that there's no food on the table right now. I'm I'm doing good, but I have my basic necessities met. But I think I'm looking for a safety net, which is tough because doing everything myself, doing building a practice by myself, and being this on this entrepreneurship journey that I am in, it's hard because it's so much easier to just get a job, and there's certain amount of money that comes to you every single month. And being on this journey, artistic journey, is what is so difficult because it's not certain and it's not stable enough. And what I'm working on is this stability.
You said your Q2 goal is one signed recurring facilitation contract. That's the safety net, right?
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. Something that's
How far are you from that?
something that is recurring is the goal for now, at least one. I don't want to just depend on, sole one off 3 workshops, 6 workshops program. I want to do something that's every week for a year so that, you know, I can just build my week like, okay, this Sunday I'm here, Monday I'm here, Tuesday I'm here, Wednesday I'm here for the remainder of the year. So, yeah, just building on, just trying to, you know, build that is my goal. And not just, 6 workshops and I'm out of here. Um that's that's good for, once I have a recurring program that I do.
What's blocking you from landing that contract right now?
Not being aware of who are looking for me, who's actually looking for recurring, who's actually looking for an artist who they want to keep as a recurring, you know, uh, who are looking for a artist on a retainer is what I don't know. Who's actually looking? I don't know who's looking. So if I don't know who's looking, then how will I look for them? Or is it just, cold outreach email? Because, you know, um, that cold email is hard when you don't have an existing relationship. And with the people that I have, with the organizations that I have a recurring relationship with, I am I'm I'm in touch, but you know, it's for the one of five. It's just a series of 5 workshops that I do, and it's not recurring.
You have existing relationships with 5 organizations. Start there. Which one is most likely to commit to recurring?
I can find that out, maybe. I don't want to, you know, say names of the organizations here, but let's see. We shall see.
Don't name them, just answer. Which one would sign you for a year of weekly programming?
I'm not sure. Because the folks that come to mind is, I don't know.
You have to pick one to focus on.
I need to
Not all
send them
five
an
at once.
email.
Which organization has the budget, the need, and already knows your work?
There's one. Okay, maybe I can work around that. Maybe, yeah. Yeah, and I have one in mind. I have 3 in mind. But let's see. Because I'm waiting for this fiscal year to end, which ends in 2 days. So, yeah.
Stop waiting. Email them this week. Not after fiscal year ends. This week. Tell them you want to pitch a recurring program for next year. What's the email say?
Well, this is not a podcast material, I guess, because we're on a podcast. And do you want me to write an entire email right now? Because we're recording and having a conversation.
No, but you know what you need to do. Email one organization this week, not 3. 1. Which one?
I'm not gonna name.
I'm not asking for the name. Which of the 3 feels most ready to hear from you right now?
Okay, change the topic.
What do you want to talk about?
What do I want to talk about?
Yeah. What's actually interesting to you right now?
I have something in mind. Gary Vee says that analog is going to take off in analog is starting to take off, and real conversations and real human experiences is what people are craving for. People are looking for those, real human connections and real human experiences, like going to a festival, like going to in-person events. And I think that's so interesting because I'm in community arts, and community arts is basically that. We are in person, it's human to human, we are in a community, we are in a group and creating art together. And I think that community arts is going to, be a really bullish industry in terms of like people looking to expand their experiences. And that I think the community arts is going to be an experiences. Yes, what am I saying? Community arts is going to be an experience where people can find that authentic human experience and connection.
So your timing is right. AI flooding digital spaces makes in-person facilitation more valuable, not less. You're positioned in the exact thing people will pay for. Why aren't you running with that harder in your pitches?
I'm not sure. I think when doing community arts, it's given that it is for the human experience. It's the authentic human experience that community arts gives. Yeah, I could be pitching or just creating content around that. because my workshops are free. It's not paid. Maybe I can do paid workshops, but I think that is a separate entity of its own. I need a team to do that. Yeah, I need a team to do that.
But the recurring contract you're chasing, that pays you. That's where the safety net comes from. You're not selling workshops to people. You're selling yourself to organizations as their recurring artist. That's the pitch, not the free workshops.
I guess so.
So when you email that organization this week, you're not pitching free community workshops. You're pitching yourself as their embedded artist for 52 weeks. What does that look like?
What do you mean? What does that look like?
Weekly programming. What is it? What's the actual deliverable? 1 hour, 2 hours? What medium? Teaching what?
Well, the medium is interdisciplinary because I do music, I do visual arts, I do photography, I do kite making, I do poetry workshops. So the medium is interdisciplinary. Most of my workshops are 2 hours, and yeah.
That's your offer. 52 weeks, 2 hours per week, rotating interdisciplinary workshops. Your choice of medium each week based on what the community needs. How much does that cost the organization per year?
We can calculate, but I don't want to do that in a podcast, which which the entire internet will see. So yeah, I'm not going to discuss finances over here.
Fair. So you know what to pitch. You know the format. Email one organization this week. Not waiting for fiscal year. Not next month. This week. You go.
All right, fine, I'll do it.
What else?
We've been going on for 42 minutes. That's not bad.
You want to rap?
You mean rap as in hip hop rap, or wrap things up?
Wrap up the podcast? End it here?
Sure, okay. We can end it. Do you have any final thoughts?
You've got 3 things this week. Grant deadline April 30th. Email one organization about recurring work. Meet your mentor to show her the practice journal idea. Do those 3. Everything else waits. You clear?
Okay, boss. Okay. Talk to you later, guys. My boss has asked me to do some things, so gotta get it done.
Go.
Such a such a nagging boss, eh? Nah, that's okay. Bye bye.